All right, guys, so we should be good today. Let me know if we're good. Let me check the audio real quick.
Testing the speed.
All right, so that's good. Test. So how do I sound today? I should sound good, right? Better. What's up, Stacy, Gia, Corey? Hey, I'm late. That's all good. Hey, show must go on. I'm over here in Florida, so I mean, I didn't get enough sleep last night, but that's all right. What's up, Colleen? Harry? Yep, still on vacation. So I mean, I didn't get enough sleep last night, but that's all right. What's up, Colleen? Harry? Am I low? Yep, still on vacation. So I mean, I didn't get enough sleep last night, but that's all right. What's up, Colleen? Harry? Okay,
Oh,
no.
I'm
Yep,
good.
still. I mean, I didn't get enough. All right, so yeah, I'm good. I'm definitely not low. Hey, what's up, TFG? Colleen? What's up, guys? Yeah, so Tesla, the SPY, up there to 427s. Sorry, I just got to kind of hit my coffee a little bit. Wake up some. Oh, man. Wake up a little bit. All right. But yeah, today we got jobless claims that drops at 8:30. SPY's gapping up a little bit. It's at 427s. Yesterday it didn't really do too much. It went down mostly. Tesla up today. GameStop down, obviously. GameStop, if you didn't catch the earnings call yesterday, GameStop basically terminated their previous CEO and elected Ryan Coleman as now the new executive chairman. And ultimately that sparked a lot of volatility for GameStop last night. So GameStop down big. You know, what's up, put spreads? What's up, man? Yeah, we're up. Let me get some music playing here. We'll be good. Can y'all hear the music? Is it normal or do I need to lower it? Okay, it should be good. Yeah, but we're here. All right. All right, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time for jobless claims. Hey, what's up, good fellas? Let me go ahead and get this ready to trade. Like, this is my biggest complaint with Thinkorswim is that these do not save. Like, these should save to where I don't have to do this every day. Like, to like make it good to trade. Like, actively, like these should save. You know, this is what I would prefer. It just stay like this. Tesla dipping down though. It's at 225s. All right, so this is actually good. That's good enough. GameStop down, still looking rough. Adobe up big. Can y'all hear the music? You should be able to, right? All right, guys. So I am cold over here, but the show must go on. It is a nice view, though. I'll tell you that. I think the view's pretty good. China Passenger Car Association announced passenger car sales in China of 1.76 million vehicles in May, up 77.3% versus April. That's good. Car sales have been kind of down with how expensive they are lately interest rates being high. You know, it's just kind of been a mess where like interest rates are up dramatically, and like with all that stuff going on, car prices have been affected by it for sure. What's the symbol for Adobe? Is it ADBE? I'm up. What's the symbol for Adobe? Isn't it like ADBE? Remember, equities roll over by Friday. E-mini, NASDAQ 100, Russell, and the mini Dow. I'm going to roll them over today. I'll show you guys how to do that if you've never done that before. So TJ, rotation in a small cap seems to be in play. Russell 2K gaining momentum. Yeah. I mean, Adobe's down, so like even if they had, excuse me, even if they had good earnings, they're not reacting like it. Today we had Toro, FCEL, Graham, Signet, DocuSign. I don't recognize buying Russell here though. Might have forgot to monetize it, to be honest. Oh yeah, I forgot to monetize it. It's all good. I'll put it on monetization now. I'm still debating on whether I take tomorrow off stream. I don't know yet what I want to do there. Bro, what's surprising is like I get some of the big boys like Moo and Weeble and you know other like big companies that traders know about email me wanting to sponsor me, but like it's honestly genuinely surprising how many like small obscure brokerages overseas that email me. You know, like I get these emails from like these random brokers that like I would never accept sponsorships from. Trying to get me to promote like their obscure Forex firm. It's like, dude, even if I've tried to sell you guys that stuff, y'all would be like, bro, what the heck is this? You know, like we're never using that. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't even be worth it for me to promote. You know what I really think though? Like if some of these guys emailed me with like a real email that wasn't just pre-written and generic and sent universally to everybody, then I might read it. But like most of these guys are just generic. Like they didn't even write these emails. Like they all say the same thing. Like they're not even exclusive to me in terms of like the email they send. Half of these are probably scams, realistically. You know, that's all good, I guess. Jobless claims drop. When is jobless claims dropping? It might say it right in the title, brother, and right below me right now. It might say it here too, like right around here. It might say it. Could say it at the top too. It's at 8:30. I'm just trolling you a little bit, but yeah. Yeah, appreciate it, DS. Yeah, I can't log into Discord on this computer, so I just don't. But sounds good, right? You can hear the music, correct? What am I doing in TOS today? I don't even know if I'm green or red. Okay, I'm green, but not much green. The only thing green in this one is gold. Everything else is flat, which kind of shows how quiet the market is. Dude, I've scaled out of Disney a lot too, and Disney's just kept making me money. Huh. But yeah, Adobe down there. We have like FCEL dropping their earnings today. I don't know when they're coming out, but it's fuel cell energy. I remember this stock. This stock's been talked about a lot. How did AMC react? I'm sure AMC's not really reacting the best to the GameStop news. Google, another tech like Apple. The dev conference is still going on today for Apple, right? When's the dev conference in? You know, I was talking to Cam online, and what Cam is saying for the Apple glasses, for the Apple Vision Pros, it's kind of like an investment, you know? So Cam basically said, sorry, it's the Donald Duck song. I'm sorry. I hate the ending. The rest of the song's great. But anyways, Cam basically said that the original Apple iPhone appreciated. It's selling right now for like 50K. You know, if it's unboxed, Apple iPhone, 50K. Cam is saying that with these Vision Pro Apple glasses, that there's a possibility that it might be that too. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna buy them, but for me, like the problem is not like I would buy them. Listen, I would buy them if I could open them, right? But what Cam's saying is like I gotta be like Steve Carell in the 40-Year-Old Virgin and just never take them out of the box. Like, bro, I'm not gonna be able to buy those things and then not play with them. Okay, you know what I mean? Like if I buy those things, I'm gonna wear them at least once and like see what they're about. That's the hard part for me with investing and stuff like that. You know. What do you guys think? Do y'all think it'll appreciate over time? Let me know. Tesla dipping down, about to hit the 200 EMA in the VWAP here. I'm gonna go ahead and buy Tesla. All right, we just got in 25 shares of Tesla here. It's pulling back enough to where we might get a little bounce off 200 EMA or maybe the previous close. We'll see how it weighs the rest of the market down. Yeah, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. What's up, Juan? Do you think the Apple Vision Pros will appreciate? Let me know. All right, so we're up a little bit in this. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Tony? What's up, Boz? Dan? Mike Jones? Who? Hey, so I guess the question, do y'all think those Apple Vision Pros will appreciate, basically what Cam said is that if you look at the iPhone 1, the iPhone 1 right now in a box, unopened, goes for 50K. That means it basically 100x in value in 15 years. Now, the argument, I understand the plausibility of it all, right? But the argument I think here is, will the Vision Pros be as groundbreaking for technology as the Apple iPhone 1? I think that's the only question we should have there. And maybe they are, but I certainly don't think it's a for sure thing. I certainly don't think that's a for sure thing. I think that they're cool. They have the possibility to be groundbreaking in regards to VR, but I still think they're always going to lag behind the iPhone in terms of technological evolution. Like, they might be big, but I don't know if they're going to be the iPhone big. And so I don't know if they're going to 100x like the iPhone did. I think maybe they'll, 30x. Still, I mean, it's just all hedging and diversification. So, I mean, hey, maybe I'll buy a pair. I don't even have it. I mean, my wife has an Apple. But realistically, I'm more of a Samsung guy. I've got this folding phone. You guys know me. I got the folding phone that I can fold up. It's the Samsung Z Fold. Yeah, for sure, Michael. That's the only thing, Which way jobless claims today? The line down the middle is not bad, bro. You can't even see it if it's open. The only time you can see that line is if you let too much air get in between there, which just really means you got to replace. Like, if you replace your screen protector, that line goes away. The line is not from the phone itself. It's just from the screen protector that gets bunched up in the middle, and you can basically push the air out like that, and you can't even see it when it's flat. Like, it just looks like a TV when it's flat. So the line's really not bad. I get a lot of people that think the line is going to be like destroying it, but nah, man, it works. I'd rather own a plot of land or a parking lot. Yeah, I feel you. VR might end up like laser discs. I don't think so. I think some form of VR will always still be around. I think the technology is too good. If you really look at it objectively, I think the tech is too good at this point in time to not grow. You know what I mean? Like, I think the technology is just too good at this point in time to not grow. Like, I think VR is getting too good to where it's not just going to fall off the face of the earth and never to be seen again. The technology is too good. These big companies are putting too much money in it. The reason laser discs and CDs became obsolete was not because people bought them and just didn't like them. People loved using them at the time, right? The reason they became obsolete was because other more efficient competitors came out, that rendered them obsolete. It wasn't like people just grew tired of using the laser disc, or people just grew tired of using the CD, or people grew tired of using the VHS. That's not what it was at all. It was more so that, hey, we don't need to use this. There's a better, more viable competitor out there for this. We're going to use that instead. That's why the CD failed. That's why the laser disc failed. That's why the video cassette tape failed. And so the point is that VR will always be around, I think, moving forward, especially in terms of like video games, because it's such groundbreaking technology, and people who play video games are going to want to immerse themselves into those worlds. And with that, the technology is only going to get better. They're going to become more efficient. They're going to become better on the human body as a whole in terms of like using VR. And so I don't doubt that VR as a whole, the industry of VR is going to grow. I mean, I don't think that's really arguable. I think if you play video games, you understand you might not like them, And honestly, my kids don't really like them, but a bunch of kids do. And so I think it's just different, man. I don't know. I disagree. I disagree, Tony. But I'm not really like either side, like rooting for either side. Like my whole family's iPhone. You know, the reason I like Samsung is because it's a freer experience. You know, the experience might be better on an Apple, but I can do more stuff on a Samsung. It's more unlocked. I can download more stuff. I can do whatever I want. And so from like for like a tech nerd, software like programming nerd that, you know, has downloaded emulators and ROMs for games and stuff like that, I can do that more freely on my Samsung versus an iPhone without question, you know. And so I mean, different use cases. You know, if you're like a family and you got kids, get them an iPhone. You know, kids, the young people especially, will want an iPhone. One of the reasons Apple is really smart in regards to marketing is that they market heavily to the younger generation. My daughter goes to a good school, and all these kids have cell phones. You know, um, I'll tell you this: none of them have a Samsung. None of them do. They all have iPhones. Um, you know, it used to be if you were in a group chat, a Samsung person couldn't even participate in the group chat. Like Apple made it super exclusive to their phones. Um, Recently, I think they updated it to where you can now, but you're a different color than everybody else in terms of your text bubbles. So that alone makes young people feel ostracized if they use anything besides an Apple, which is funny. But the point is that Apple with some really clever you know, utility and marketing has gotten a lock on young people. And so I think Apple's one of the best stocks to invest in long term because I think they're smart and they're growing and they're big, you know. But don't get it twisted. The rest of the world uses Samsung and Android phones. Um, the rest of the world does. You know, some of them use Apple, but most of the world doesn't. You know, outside of the United States, just the United States is such a big chunk of the whole world's cap that, you know, Apple's still fine and growing crazy. Yeah, so the fifth CEO has exited GameStop in 5 years. Yeah. Vision Pro is going to be beneficial in the health industry, teledoc, and virtual surgery. By virtual surgery, I'm assuming um, you mean training medical students, correct? Right? That's what you mean by virtual surgery. And if there's a different use case in that, let me know. But I'm assuming you mean like training purposes. Okay, got you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it might be time, Venus. Use that. Yeah. Yeah, man. I grew up in the 90s, Franco. And so I grew up. I didn't get a cell phone until I was like I was like 15 or 16. I remember I got my phone and I remember I was 16 and this was like a flip phone, but it was like a really fancy, really expensive flip phone. It wasn't, to me, it was expensive at the time. It was probably like 80 bucks, 100 bucks, but it was really expensive to me at the time. And my parents got it to me for my birthday one year, right? So I was at my friend was driving, I wasn't driving yet, and I was getting into my friend's car, and my parents had just gotten me this flip phone for my birthday. And I think when I got into the car, it was either a GSR or it was a Type R. It might have been the Type R, but I think it could have been the GSR too. But I was getting in my friend's GSR, and the phone must have fallen outside of my pocket and fell right in front of my friend's wheel. And as we drove away, I heard crunch, like, you know, and I just knew immediately what it was. And we turned around, and I noticed that this new phone, and this was the first phone I ever had, it was completely run over and completely destroyed. And I remember I shed a tear at the time, you know, because this was like my big birthday present, and I was just bummed, you know, I lost my phone. Um, I still remember it to this day because it was just such it was my fault completely, but like it was heartbreaking for me at the time. I remember. So, but yeah, I didn't get a phone until and the phones I did get were like bricks. The phone they gave me after that was like a brick. It was like a Nokia brick that had Snake on it. Everybody knows. If anybody's old enough, you remember the Nokia bricks. Yeah, Nextel. I remember when Nextel was big. Yeah, no, I've got 2 kids, man. I've got 2 kids. You know, my son doesn't have a phone yet, but my daughter does. And she's had a phone since she was, you know, I mean, I will say, like, the argument for a phone nowadays is this, okay? Parents are going to argue that it's more dangerous for kids now, where I don't even know if that's necessarily true, but I think with GPS capabilities getting so good at this point in time that like parents want to know where their kids are, and I think that is good. I don't think that's a bad thing. You know, I get it, we criticize parents for getting their kids phones really early, but I think parents want to know where their kids are, and if you got a GPS device to their phone where you know where your kid is, you know, when your kid's at school, you know they're at school. When your kids are wherever, you know where they're. I think that's a valuable thing for parents. I think that's a good thing, you know. Now, social media and other stuff like that, like we don't let my kids use social media. The only, you know, so like we don't let my kids use social media. My daughter, trust me, she's 13 now, so every year she's asking us, hey, can I get an Instagram, or hey, can I get a TikTok, or hey, can I get whatever? And we just tell her, no, you know, you can't have any of that stuff until you're like 15, 16. I don't care if the other kids have them. I think they're bad for kids. I think it sets unhealthy standards, specifically like Instagram. I think it sets unhealthy standards that kids have to live up to, and you know, there's just dangers on there. So we're not letting my daughter get on social media for a while, but she's asking about it now. She wants a Snapchat and stuff. I'm just kind of like, nah. No, I know that. Honestly, I kind of agree with you, Matt, in that like people act like it's more dangerous now. Like one of the things I talk to my wife about sometimes is like my wife will act like things are just so crazy socioeconomically right now and politically that she'll act like it's just so crazy right now. And I'll tell her, I'll be like, man, thought experiment. Imagine it's 1938 and Pearl Harbor just happened, and you got this crazy dictator overseas that's going around the neighboring countries and taking them over and sending troops in and bombing the place. Like the whole thing was crazy. So like World War II was a pretty crazy event, you know, in historical standards. The reason things seem more crazy nowadays is because we have 24-hour news services with really good capabilities that can report on news as soon as it happens. And so you got all this stuff going around on all these different parts of the world that you know about, that you're aware of at this point in time, right? 100 years ago, nobody knew about what was going on. For the most part, it took weeks to get that news back, at least days. So that's the difference, is that it just seems more dangerous and crazy now because technology has evolved to where we know about everything, but the world's been crazy. Cold War was crazy, you know. Ugh. I wonder why TOS just locked up on me like that. That's weird. Let me unlock it. All right, there we go. We just unlocked it. Still in Tesla here. We've been patiently waiting here. This thing pulled back right to like the previous closing price, 200 EMA level. So I want to see if it holds because it's just got a lot of support levels around here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really mad at that, Tony. Again, I understand it now. You know, like again, the argument I was given was like, I understand parents giving their kids phones. you know, like there's a lot of uses for it outside of socialization and talking. Especially like an Apple Watch. Apple Watch is probably the most useful. Kids want them. My son wants one. They're not quite a phone, so you can't sit on social media all day on that thing, but it gives you the parental capabilities of a iPhone, you know. Yeah, the Nokia brick was indestructible. Yeah, we could do a poll. Yeah, but for kids, that's kind of what you want. What's a good poll number? With the SPY in green today. Will jobless claims help or hurt the market? That's a good one. Will jobless claims help or hurt the market today? Let me know what you guys think there. Get on our Twitter page. See what we got here. All right, so jobless claims drop soon. Expectations for claims today are 235,235K. All right, so we're going to do a Twitter poll as well. All right, so we're doing a Twitter poll also. We'll make it 3 hours, I guess. Let's put this up so we can catch it. Do me a favor, hit the like button as well. We got about 300 people here. All right, so Tesla finally moving back up. Yeah, and I mean, here's some, I'm going to give you guys both arguments here for technology, because as somebody okay, the best way I can explain it is that I don't think getting an early start into technology is bad, especially for kids, depending on what it is. Like when I grew up, when I was a kid, right, when I was 10, 11, 12, my mom bought me a good computer, you know. And my mom was like a teacher, so she didn't make a ton of money, but she spent the time and bought me like a nice computer. And she also had DSL, so she had good internet back in the day, which was rare. Dial-up was rampant in the 90s and 2000s, right? And I sat there and I played on that computer all day. I would download Pokemon ROMs and emulators. I would download Nintendo 64 and Zelda emulators and ROMs. I remember I created a website. I created my own Zelda Majora's Mask website, and I was getting views on that thing when I was 11, you know. And I think learning how to operate technology gave me an edge later in life. You know, it gave me an edge later in life over some other kids because they didn't know how to do those things. And so with that in mind, I think it's not a bad thing to expose your kids to technology. Like my son yesterday was building games and programs and animations on Scratch, which was a little kid programming language. So he's on his iPad programming, as he calls it. It's not quite that, but like, you know, he's getting there and he's learning how to do that. And I think, and he's 9, you know, so I think like giving him an early introduction into that stuff is good. It'll give him an edge later in life. Like they'll be more technologically aware, you know, versus other kids. If you give them that exposure, if you don't let them do any of that stuff, and you know, you don't teach them how to use a computer and you don't teach them how to use technology, then they're going to be, you know, their career path as they get older it could be less easy, but maybe not, you know. Just understand, like, kids, it goes for also teaching your kids a second language too. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Hey, what's up, Cal? But my son loves it. Like, he wants to be a programmer. Yeah, I asked my son what I want to do. He says, I want to be a programmer and a YouTuber. And the YouTuber one, he sees me on here talking to internet people and, you know, making money doing this. So he sees me do this. So he naturally wants to be a YouTuber. He watches Preston Plays and like all these other kid YouTubers with Minecraft and stuff. But that's a different. I have to sit there and tell him, hey, bro, like, being a YouTuber is not as easy as just being like, hey, I want to be a YouTuber. You know, it takes a lot more work and like strategy than that. That's the biggest thing YouTube takes. It takes strategy. Like, you're not going to be able to just upload videos and get views. I mean, some people do, but like, you're not going to be able to. You have to be very specific. You have to analyze meta. You have to analyze titles and keywords and thumbnails options, you know, and you got to do what gets the best results. You also have to enter a niche that's not super saturated, and trading's getting that way to where it's super saturated. Luckily, I created this before, you know, I was streaming before a lot of other people, but so that keeps us a little bit more resilient. But yeah, I'm gonna have to break it to him as he gets older. I hope he does do it, you know. Hey, what's up, Sam? I'm waiting to see what GameStop does. Yeah, GameStop, interesting. $20 is probably going to be a psychological level that you should watch for GameStop. $20 seems to be that, but I don't know. Tesla's still consolidating right around break even for me, which is, I'm okay with this break even price. It's right over the VWAP. You know. Yeah, for sure, boss. And I'm sure it gave you an edge career-wise as you got older. I know it did for me. You know, being a super nerd when I was 10 helped me as I got older, you know, because realistically, like, when it came time to create my own websites and my other stuff, I knew how already, you know, and so learning how to do that was very simple. I also learned how to code, like, to make websites in 2001. You know, it was kind of like MySpace, where you didn't, like, it wasn't like Wix nowadays or WordPress even. You know, you had to code that page, not real code. It was just HTML and CSS. But I can remember having to learn that and having to write that and having to refresh and see how it reacted to what I changed and all that stuff on my computer. And I think that gave me I think that gave me an edge. But hopefully my son does the same thing, you know. Yeah, for sure, boss. Nice, man. Yeah, he always wanted to learn how to program, and so he's on Scratch now. I was actually impressed because, like, he downloaded Scratch, set it up, learned how to use it with no tutorials, you know, with no we didn't set it up for him. He downloaded and set it up himself. I think we approved the download, so he asked us if he could download Scratch. We said yes, but he learned how to use it aside from that. So I was actually impressed by him because he did that without our help for the most part, you know. Yeah, I don't know what GameStop's going to do. It's at around 20 now. We'll see if it holds. But remember, guys, we got about an hour, and then we have jobless claims coming out in about an hour. Tesla, we're still flat, kind of green. What's Roku doing? Roku was good. Yeah, the best skill to learn is 100%. BAOS running. Hey, good luck. Yeah, I'm in Tesla. It's been here sideways. Roku had a nice little green day. The problem with Roku is this, and I've talked about this before. You know, the problem with Roku is simple. All right. And here's the real problem. And again, maybe I'm wrong here. It's not like I'm shorting Roku. All right. And maybe y'all can correct me if y'all think I'm wrong. But the problem with Roku is, what's to stop the TV carriers from continuing to create their own software that does what Roku does? You know, like that's a natural evolution of things. Like they're going to say, hey, we could pay somebody 30,000 or whatever it is, 50K right now to build us Roku software, you know, and like that way we don't have to use Roku. We can just use our own version and gather that data and take that data ourselves and do all that stuff. You know, so what's to stop them from just cutting out the middleman? And I think they already are to a certain extent. I think one thing that might help Roku, though, I think one thing that might ultimately save Roku is that Roku's popular. And so people want to buy a TV that has Roku on it so they can use Roku. But I will say hardware specifically in that regard is kind of becoming obsolete, if that makes sense. Like you don't need Roku box anymore. The software the capabilities are higher now for software, so you don't really need a Roku box. You can kind of do it yourself or use the own native software at this point in time and get the same similar like infrastructure. Hey, what's up, Chris? I love crab. Crab is great. One of my favorite seafoods. I mean, I'm from Louisiana, so I'm like crawfish, but like crab is good. Cost of infrastructure? Yeah, maybe. Man, I've been in Tesla here all morning, but I'm just kind of sitting on it. I'm not doing much else with it. What's the SPY doing here? I'm gonna put the SPY, the NASDAQ up. SPY is slightly green, but it's not like super green. Yeah. Yeah, lobster, a lot of the time I come out unimpressed. Like I'll get lobster, but like as a Cajun guy, you know, it's hard to eat because as a Cajun, you just expect more seasoning on it. And then when you eat it, it's kind of bland and like, yeah, you can dip it in butter, but like it's not the same, you know. Shrimp is good. I like shrimp. I like crab legs, you know. But lobster was always left me a little unimpressed. Yeah, but what Chris is saying is like in Louisiana we boil crawfish, right? And they're really heavily seasoned. You know, like there's a Cajuns boil crawfish like their own specific way, where it's like you go to some place outside of Louisiana, they might just kind of throw some seasoning on after the crawfish are boiled. But like that's not right at all. That's not what you're supposed to do at all. You're supposed to put the seasoning and all the different spices in with the boil, and let it sit in there and then boil it with the crawfish. You know, and then you can put some stuff on after if you want. But point is, crawfish is really nicely seasoned. And so if you go from eating like crawfish, which is like really seasoned, spicy a lot of the time, and you go to lobster, which is like bland and tasteless, you know, it's just not, it's a hard transition for Cajuns, you know, but lobster is like, ooh, lobster. And it's, you know, but for Cajuns, you know, they're just kind of like, it's all right, you know. I like seafood. I like crab legs. I like shrimp, but all right, Tesla at 224. So I'll probably end up cutting this if it breaks down too much because it's under those big milestone levels now. We're We're gonna just unload on the bid right here. We'll give it 1 second. It's right at these lows. We're down 15 bucks, so it's not like the end of the world, but I don't want to let this run too much down. Yeah, I think that's it. We're gonna have to get out there. Less than $20. Just kind of broke down under all these milestone levels. I like the trade though. I think if we take that trade 10 out of 10 times, we're gonna make money at least 6, you know. But this time we got unlucky. I don't recommend any strategy. I think you got to just figure out what works for you all. I like buying dips. I like looking for major support levels. Buying dips, you know. Hey, good luck, John. Okay, for sure. I was just curious because I'm trying to get into trading, but you're kind of saying there's no best strategy. Well, yeah, like it's subjective, you know. So like, I might say, hey, dip buys to the VWAP is the greatest strategy ever. You know, somebody else might say, nah, you know, 200 EMA, you know, 12 and 20 EMA crossovers are the best strategy. Somebody else might say, nah, you know, wash out long red to green moves are a best strategy. Some might say, nah, you know, trend reversals are a best strategy. Breakdowns are a best strategy. Opening range breakouts are the best strategy. It really is subjective. Ultimately, what it means though is that different strategies work on different securities, different niches of trading. Like I might use a strategy in stocks that just doesn't work on crypto, or that doesn't work on Forex, or doesn't work on other stocks. I might use a strategy on SPY right here that just frankly doesn't work on GameStop or doesn't work on Apple, you know. And so it really does vary. What I will say, and what I will tell you to be careful with, is that like a lot of new traders target high of the day breakouts. Those are some of the riskiest, the hardest trades to make money on. I don't know. I don't get the hype about high of the day breakouts. I think new traders a lot of the time target high of the day breakouts, but they fail. Like I think a lot of the time traders are taking profit at highs because it's the top of the range, and so a lot of the time they'll just kind of dump down and reject on people. But maybe some traders have a viable high of the day trading strategy that works. I just haven't found one. I'm from around Baton Rouge. Yeah, exactly, Beach. Yeah, there's tons of ways to trade. None of them are right or wrong either. None of them are what's called the best or worst. It's all just kind of whatever works. Yeah, jobless claims is in like 52 minutes. So yeah, jobless claims are in like 52 minutes or so. We don't really have much going on tomorrow. Yeah, no worries. SPY's starting to break down. I could short. I mean, hey, what's up, Shepard? We moving up or down today? I don't know. I did a poll this morning. Let's see what it says. Looks like most people are saying jobless claims help the market. 54% are saying that jobless claims help. 46% are saying they hurt the market. Look at our other poll. 50% think we're going to come in higher than expected for claims. 29% think we're going to come in lower, and 21% think we're going to come in as expected. Hey, nice, Elijah. Bro Bridge has got some good crawfish. Here's a funny story, man. One time I was in Baton Rouge, and I was trying to go to Prairieville or Dutchtown or whatever you want to call it, somewhere around the Prairieville, Dutchtown area. So I was trying to go to Prairieville and Dutchtown, and I was young. I was like 16 or 17. So and this was before we had a GPS, right? And so my friend and I get on the interstate, and we think we're heading to Prairieville, you know. And we either missed the exit or went the wrong way. Before we know it, we see a Bro Bridge sign, like we're pulling into Bro Bridge. So we realize that we drove like 2 hours accidentally the wrong way. Yeah, Bro Bridge is good. But that's the point, man. People are pampered nowadays with GPS, bro. People don't realize, you know, back in the day, you just had to look at street signs, you know, or maps if you want. We never used a map. We just used street signs. We drove around until we found it. Yeah. Yeah, I remember my friends made so much fun of me for that, you know. It was all good. I was 16. I was resilient. I was just kind of like, all right, let's go. Yeah, I lived in Prairieville as well a little bit. Like I grew up out there some too in Prairieville. All right, guys, we still got 50 minutes. 50 minutes. Nice, man. Yeah, that's exactly right, Ernie. I mean, that's how you have to do it. You just drove general direction. You look for familiar landmarks, and that's how you get there. GameStop bounced it up. It's over 20s. Tesla's still at 224.50s. I remember MapQuest pawn is what I remember. I remember using MapQuest, bro. That's what I remember using more than anything was MapQuest. I'd print out my MapQuest directions. It would give me like a list of what to do, so I didn't get lost. Yeah. Yeah, MapQuest was about to be the hottest IPO in years, and then GPS and the iPhone came out and squashed that, you know. Yeah. GameStop bounced it a little bit, guys. It's at 2060s. 2060s. Tesla's still at 224s. SPY at 426.50. So we'll see if it holds. Predictions for Tesla at the end of the year, man. I don't know what Tesla is going to do at the end of the year today. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Tesla's still consolidating there. I don't know. Market's too flat right now. The liquidity is really low still too. So like liquidity is really tight and all this stuff. So there's just no liquidity at this point in time. Hey, what's up, Sam? Guess truckers and campers must be keeping them. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. What's Garmin? Is Garmin something different? It's not like a. All right, SPY back over the previous closing price. So the SPY's trying to hold. It's trying to bounce. We'll see if it does, but the SPY's trying here. GameStop, I don't know. I think GameStop. I think what happened is like people got squeezed out, and now it's down to $20. I think $20 is a psychological level that might hold. So, Garmin's an old school GPS. Yeah, it might be before my time. I think. What's up, puppy? Again, SPY at 426.60s. All right, so it's at 426.60s. GameStop at 2050s. Yeah, I've never used a Garmin. Gotcha. Yeah, never used them. Pepsi. We can look at Pepsi. It's not really the most volatile stock though. Like I think you got to look at it long term. And I mean, the last year, Pepsi. It's a beautiful trend here for Pepsi. I mean, if you look at the daily chart trend, it's a pretty nice trend here. I would say this is a pretty solid trend. So like you can kind of see this here. To see the trend, and notice like it's a pretty nice little trend there for Pepsi. Now, whether it's going to hold is a different story, but a good little yearly trend. So that's what I would watch. We're at the bottom of the range now too, so there could be an argument for a Pepsi dip buy too. I'm gonna buy some Pepsi here. Again, I don't want anybody to copy me. What's the range? Yeah, I don't really want anybody to copy me. I'm gonna take 20 shares of this. Just gonna get in. I think it's arguably extended enough on the downside to where this could run, but it's gonna be a small trade. I do like this extension. It's in an upward trend, but it's pulled back really, really heavily, and so I do like that. So yeah, I don't mind the technical, but again, I'm not an investment professional. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything. Don't copy me. Pepsi might crash tomorrow. I don't know. Tesla and Apple are volatile, yeah, for sure. Tesla finally breaking down some. Yeah, good dividends. What do you think about KO? I'm KO. I've been holding KO for a while now. But yeah, I'm still in it, still holding it. Nicely green from it. But yeah, we're still in it. Still in Disney too. We've been riding Disney up really nicely. It's been treating us well. Google with a big pullback yesterday, but the whole market kind of dipped yesterday, so I can't judge it too much. Yeah, yeah. So I bought Coke like a week ago, maybe a little bit lower. Maybe it was like 2 weeks ago. So right now I'm actually so right now my swing trade portfolio that I am green on is Walmart, Walgreens. Uh, I'm holding a little bit of SOXS, which is like a inverse microchip trade. It's kind of like a little bit of short on Nvidia. It's a very small position, but I'm holding that, and I'm green on that too. PayPal, I'm still in PayPal, still holding PayPal. Have scaled out of most of it. I'm holding Pepsi, Coca-Cola, JP Morgan, green on that one too. Johnson and Johnson, green on that one. Gold, that's one trade that I'm red on, is my gold trade. Disney, I've been holding that one for a couple weeks or for a month or so now. Maybe I don't know how long I've been holding it, but point is I'm nicely green on all these. They're mostly small positions, but I've kind of let them work for me, and they've been doing well. Like they've helped my portfolio for sure. So next week, Shepard, is CPI and the rate hike decision. So the reason there's like a lot of volatility expectations for next week are because next week this week is incredibly slow. Like there's just not a lot of stuff going on in the market this week. All right, we got jobless claims. We had GameStop earnings yesterday. That's really all we got this week. There's nothing else big. That's all we got. But next week specifically is a big, big week. It's probably the biggest week of the month in terms of like economic data, volatility, movement, market catalysts, stuff like that, right? So just to put it in perspective, next week, I don't know what happens Monday. I think Tuesday we get CPI. Wednesday we get the rate hike decision. We also Thursday we get PPI, and then Friday we get something. So like aside from Monday, and we might have something Monday, I don't know, but aside from that, freaking every day next week is going to be busy. So it'll be a very volatile week because we just have so much economic data coming out. Yeah, so Monday we don't have much. We got consumer inflation expectations coming out a little bit early. Tuesday though. So Tuesday, that's when CPI comes out. So Tuesday CPI at 8:30. Expectations for CPI on the month of 0.4%, on 4.9% on the year. So that comes out Tuesday. Then Wednesday morning, we get the MBA mortgage rate coming out. Expectations for that are 6.8%, or last time it was 6.8%. We also have PPI, which is the producer price index, dropping Wednesday morning. So CPI Tuesday, PPI Wednesday morning. Wednesday afternoon, we get the Fed rate hike decision and the FOMC press conference. Moving forward, Thursday, we get retail sales data and jobless claims. So Thursday, retail sales data, jobless claims, the Philly Fed index. So that's a big day too, man, honestly. And I think we get the ECB rate hike decision and accompanying press conference Wednesday morning too. So, or no, Thursday morning. So that's a big thing too. We get the ECB conference, we get all that economic data coming out. And then Friday we have European CPI that comes out, as well as the Michigan consumer sentiment and expectational data. So every day next week is really busy and really big for economic data. The only day that's quiet is Monday. Aside from that, the rest of the week is just going to be absolutely packed with economic data. It's going to be a fun week for me because, this week is slow and like it's not the biggest week, of course, because we just don't have the market's quiet. But next week makes up for it because next week will just be packed full of stuff. In terms of earnings too, let me check next week. I don't think we actually have anything next week for earnings. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty quiet for earnings next week too. But that's all right. Yeah, so that's slow, but it looks like the Monday after that we got some stuff dropping. It might be like overseas earnings though. Signature Bank. Okay, wow. So hey, Signature Bank drops their earnings not next week, but the Tuesday after that on the 20th. Signature Bank earnings in the morning. FedEx in the evening. Wednesday, Tupperware, KB Homes. Thursday, we got BlackBerry dropping their earnings. Friday, Kmart or CarMax, and that's it. And then the Monday after that. So yeah, earnings season really doesn't start until mid-July. Yeah, I'm looking at the rest of the earnings. They're pretty slow. Market's starting to bounce, but it's just kind of choppy right now, guys. Neutral. We do have Walgreens earnings coming out on the 27th. I might have to watch my swing position there for that, because that might influence it. But yeah, General Mills. Oh, we got MU earnings later on in the week too. All right, not too bad. Well, this week was kind of volatile. It's not incredibly volatile. Like the big thing going on this week that I wasn't able to cover was the Apple Dev Conference. So the Worldwide Developer Conference for Apple, WWDC, dropped, and that influenced Apple. And then we had GameStop earnings yesterday. So like those things were kind of okay. Like we had some movement there, but it's going to be nothing like next week, you know? Yeah, I mean, I made money on PayPal, Nathan, and the argument is simple, right? Like, okay, have you guys seen The Big Short? You know, have you guys seen The Big Short? You know, like in The Big Short, they have that group of young kid traders, and in The Big Short, they called it like the Brownsfield Fund. I think the real life fund wasn't the Brownsfield Fund; it was something else. But what they would do is they would buy options on unlikely things that most people didn't think would happen. And so when they were wrong small. You know, it costs pennies on the dollar to take those bets. But when they were right, they made huge returns from it, right? What I like to do is kind of a variation of that, where it's like I look for stocks that are really extended on the downside, like PayPal, for instance, right? I'm in PayPal. I've already scaled out of most of it. But if you look at PayPal and you look at like a long-term chart here, like a 180-day chart, PayPal since early May has dropped big percentages, right? And so I started scooping it up around here. Like I was buying it up all down here at the 63, 62, 61, 60s, 59s. I started scooping it up. And the logic of that trade was like, okay, well, PayPal's down a lot. I don't know what PayPal's going to do long term, but I know short term, PayPal, you know, I think short term there is a chance that PayPal bounces because people still use PayPal. It's not like it's completely obsolete. Like people use it heavily, highly used service. And so when it dips down big percentages over a couple week period, I'm usually there to buy it up. You know, I usually love buying that up. Disney, same concept. Disney, same thing. If you look at Disney here, right? Disney dipped all the way from 120s back in January all the way down to 87s, you know. And again, I started buying it at 93s, 94s, but I have a large enough account where I could scale it big and then let the bounce happen, which is what I did. I'm still in a piece, but we've just been kind of consistently riding this thing back. Walgreens, same exact example. Walgreens still heavily used, the top pharmacy in the world. People use them. You know, people use them a ton. And so when Walgreens has dropped down from 40s down to 29s, it's a big percentage drop. It's plausible to assume that it's going to bounce back a little bit. And so far we got in Walgreens like right at the exact best time, like perfect time to get in Walgreens. Let me see where I got it. This is little small swing trades, but we diversified. Here's Walgreens. So yeah, we got in Walgreens at 29.80s. Wow, look at that bottom dip here. We got in Walgreens when it had a low of 29.48. We got in at 29.80s. And we're still holding a piece, and we've just kind of been slowly scaling, taking profit on the way out. But that type of trading strategy works really, really well for me. We did it with Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is pretty good. We're still green on Coca-Cola too. We did it with Walmart as well. And we bought it down here at the 140s. And we've kind of slowly been taking profit. And so my trading strategy is simple. I look for extension in healthy companies, like companies that are going to be okay. People can argue Walgreens or Walmart or whatever are going to fail. Short term, they're going to be okay. And generally, if they're extended on the downside, like if I can get like a couple weeks or a couple months of just really, really red action where it's just dropping, I love buying that stuff because generally I can buy it, I can sit on it for a couple weeks or a couple months or longer than that if I really need to, and just kind of let the momentum and the health of the company long term play out. You know, so I just look for cheap dips and healthy blue chips. And if I'm patient enough and I wait for the right opportunities there, I can usually diversify. I can buy enough of them to where, you know, even if one's wrong, even if, you know, gold was wrong or whatever I bought, I'm still diversified to where I'm still very green in all of the swing trades I'm currently in. And so Yeah, it works really well. Recently, I was doing this with just one individual stock at the time. I was doing it with like one stock at a time, and I wasn't doing it. Over the last couple months, I've started to just load up on a bunch of different ones and let that diversification give me a little bit higher of an edge, to where I'll just buy a bunch of different examples of this. Again, I read my swing trade position list right now. My swing trade list is this. I am in AMC, Disney, Gold, Johnson & Johnson, JP Morgan, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, PayPal, SOXS, Tesla, Walgreens, Walmart. And I'm holding all of these, and I've been holding most of these for the last few weeks as they've rebounded nicely. So some of them longer, like Disney, I've been in a little bit longer, but it worked for me at least. Can't guarantee it's going to work for you. What's your average price on PayPal? My average price on PayPal is $59.50. I'm in 10 shares left, but it's up. But if you guys want to see it, my average price on PayPal is $59.50. I've got 10 shares left, and on this 10 shares, I'm up about $50. And I think I had like 100 shares or so. So, but yeah, good average. If you look at where I got in here, the low were 58.90, so I got in right here. I got in right here. So hey, I'll take that. That's good. That's a good little dip there, I think. No? BT to trade like that in TOS, one would need 25K. No. I mean, I'll day trade these sometimes. You can hold stuff overnight and not need 25K. So like this is called swing trading, Sam. This is swing trading. So this is buying up stuff and holding it, for weeks really. This is kind of a mix of like swing trading and investing. It's trying to get cheap discount buys in healthy companies and holding them for weeks or, longer than that for investments and dividends. But yeah, you can hold these overnight. You can do this with a $5,000 account. You're gonna have to trade smaller than I do, of course, but like you can do it. This is Thinkorswim. Yeah, for sure. The PayPal has some uses. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the market's down for a couple reasons. Mostly Apple and some other stuff were extended, and the dev conference caused volatility there. It's really mostly what it was. Yeah, you can call it value investing. I call it swing trading because I think, like, I hold it for generally the average hold time I would say is about 2 weeks for me. So that's technically swing trading. Investing is like 6 months plus. Right? And rarely will I hold it for 6 months. Most of the time I'm out way before then. Like most of the time, okay. And I've talked about this mentality a lot before, and I think this is a valuable thing for people to understand, right? But for me here, okay, I'll invest in it if I need to. Like if I buy Disney and Disney doesn't go in my direction, say I get unlucky and I buy Disney and Disney just dumps down 20%, 30%. Now, am I going to take that 20, 30% loss? Probably not. I'm probably going to bag hold Disney and just kind of sit on it. And I have an account size and enough money to where I don't need to liquidate that Disney position. I know Disney's probably going to go up long term. And so I can essentially just kind of sit at Disney and let it work. And within a couple of years, Disney's going to be back over 100, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but the point is that most of the time I'll take these positions, and most of the time they'll bounce back very quickly. Like most of the time they'll bounce back, and I'll be very green within a couple weeks, and I'll liquidate and cover the position and move on to the next one. But sometimes they don't. But generally, time heals a lot of wounds with this strategy. So like generally over a 3-month period, we're going to come back, unless something crazy in the market happens. And if it does, I can just hold longer if I need to. But what this enables me to do is have a very high accuracy rate with my trades, because it's like, listen, if it goes in my direction, great, I'll take profit. If it doesn't, I can just kind of wait on it. And I'm only, the key here is only selecting healthy blue chip companies. Like don't do this with penny stocks. You're going to lose on penny stocks doing this. Don't do this with mid caps, because mid caps can drop 80% a year or more. it needs to be blue chip, healthy S&P 500 companies, or NASDAQ or Q companies, but it needs to be healthy companies. It can't be freaking Mullen, or whatever. I mean, derivatives doesn't have much to do with it, Sam. So if you have a margin account, so like there's two different types of trading accounts in the stock market. There's two different types. There's a cash account, which a cash account you can't short. There's no margin. You don't get any leverage. You're just going long, buying it with cash. And with a cash account, you have what's called the T2 rule. It used to be the T3 rule, but it's called the T2 rule, which stands for transaction plus 2 days, right? So you got to wait. If you buy 1,000 shares of a $1 stock and you spend $1,000 in equity, if you got 3K, you're not going to, if you spend $1,000 in equity on that trade, you got to wait 2 days to get those funds put back into your account to trade with, right? So it ties up your equity. So if you buy, point is, if you spend all your equity in one day, say you've got $5,000 and you buy 5,000 shares of a $1 stock, right? You're not going to get to trade at all the next day. You're not going to get that 5,000 put back into your account. If you do it on a Monday, you're not going to get that money into your account until Wednesday. It's called the T2 rule. Really, it's just letting banks hold on to your money a little bit longer so they can earn more interest. That's really what it's doing. But they'll guise it under protection traders, which is just nonsense. But anyways, that's a cash account, right? Then you have what's called a margin account, which you can short. They'll sometimes give you leverage. When you sell, you get instant settlement. So there's no T2 rule. So if I buy 1,000 shares of a $1 stock in a margin account, as soon as I click sell, that $1,000 is back into my account. But, and this is only specifically in stocks, but with that, if you have less than 25 grand, if you got under 25K in that margin account, there's something called the pattern day trading rule, which stands for, or which means that you can't day trade more than 3 times per rolling 5-day period in that margin account if you've got less than 25 grand. So like, point is, you can't actively day trade with a margin account unless you get over 25K. Now, that's day trading only. The only restriction is day trading, right? So with a margin account, I can buy PayPal today and sell it tomorrow and do that over and over again every day. I just can't buy PayPal today, sell it today 3 times, do that over and over again today. If by the 3rd time, they're going to flag my account. And if I try to do it a 4th time, they're going to restrict my account. I'm going to be frozen. So that's what it is, and that's one of the reasons futures are so valuable, because like with futures, you can day trade. There's no PDT in futures. I can day trade the SPY. I can day trade the NASDAQ. So if you pull up the SPY here and you pull up the E-mini, it's the exact same price action. In fact, you'll notice futures have a little bit more liquidity. So this is the same thing as this, right? Big red move, consolidation, bounce, big red move, consolidation, bounce. But I can day trade this right side here with no PDT rule. I can day trade, get instant settlement with a margin account. I can buy market, sell market, buy bid, sell the ask, just like day trading stocks, but there's no PDT rule. And then there's also funded account programs for futures to where you can day trade. They'll give you a demo. They test your skill, and it's a challenge, right? It's a challenge where they're going to test your skill. They're going to give you a demo account, and they're going to give you a profit target and a max loss. Top Step is my sponsor. They give you a 50K demo for the base one, but you can get a 150K one too. And if you pass the testing in the 50K one, they'll fund you 50K with a 90% split. You take that, you make 10K, you keep 9 of that since it's a 90-10 split. Or with the 150K, you can make 20K. If you get that, you get 18K. And again, if you pass it, they'll fund you. If you don't pass it, you're going to lose a lot less than you would if you put the money up yourself. So there's a lot of reasons to check that out. But yeah, I'll post this link here. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. All right, we're back.
But yeah, there's the link if you want to check them out. They are a sponsor of mine, but it really does build your skill. Like traders underestimate how much funded account programs can build your skill in trading. You know, they underestimate how much these funded programs can build your skill. Just taking these challenges helps you learn, helps you get better. Your risk is limited, so it's like most new traders, they put up 10K, they lose 3 or 4 of that, and they fail. This allows them to put up noticeably less risk, noticeably less startup capital. But if they're good enough, they still get the benefits. They still get a 90-10 split. They still get to trade with a big account. But if they're not good enough, they lose less, right? And in that reason alone, they're incredibly valuable, incredibly valuable. Okay, sound go down. There we go. Yeah, all good. Hey, what's up, Daniel? All right, so guys, we do have jobless claim numbers dropping in about 20 minutes. Hi, John. I switched to a margin account and I can't short pennies. Why? That probably doesn't have much to do with you having a margin account, Lori. That probably has to do with penny stocks. Okay, so, and again, I'm just speculating here, so I don't know your true story here, but with penny stocks specifically, all right, like when you short a stock, right, the people that are loaning you the shorts are long-term investors, you know, that are sitting in these stocks for 20 or 30 years, and so they don't care about short-term price fluctuations. And the best way I can explain shorting, the procedure of it, is if you think if a bag of sugar costs $1 and you go to your neighbor and you say, hey, let me borrow a bag of sugar, and your neighbor is the long-term investor, right? You go up to your neighbor and you say, hey, let me borrow a bag of sugar, and he says sure, and a bag of sugar costs $1. But you think the price is going to go down, so you take the bag of sugar your neighbor gave you, you sell it for $1, you put the dollar in your pocket, you wait for the price of sugar to drop to 50 cents, then you buy back the price of sugar, the bag of sugar for 50 cents, and you return it to your neighbor. Your neighbor doesn't know any difference because he's holding sugar for 30 years, so he doesn't care. But you just profited 50 cents. You waited for it to drop to 50 cents and then returned it. That's what shorting is. But the reason you can't short a lot of penny stocks, or the reason it's very difficult to, is because with penny stocks, there's less long-term investors. So there's less traders that are ultimately going to be willing to loan you those shares out so that you'll have shares to short, right? There's less people sitting on ABC penny stock long term because most of the time, let's be real, penny stocks suck. They're not good long-term investors. There's not a lot of long-term investors that are willing to loan shares out. And when you loan shares out, they give you a percentage. So you get a fee for doing it. But it's one of the reasons you have to locate a lot of penny stock shorts, because there's just not a lot of investors that are willing to loan those shares out, and then it costs money to locate and all that stuff. So that's really what it is. That's why you know, in trading, a lot of times penny stocks will be what's called HTB, which is hard to borrow, HTB, or NTB, which is none to borrow, which means that like there's nobody loaning shares out. Because to be honest, like let's be real here for a second, most penny stocks are gonna fail, right? So shorting them would kind of be too easy of money. Like you could basically just sit around and wait, you know, short a penny stock and just kind of sit around, and the odds are going to be hugely in your favor because penny stocks suck and they fail most of the time. You got outliers, of course, but new traders lose so much money in penny stocks by thinking they're just the next Amazon that they're just getting talked into sensationalized trading and marketing. You know, it's kind of like Jordan Belfort in The Wolf of Wall Street, where Aerotime International, it's a cutting edge firm. Really, it's like a shack. You know, it's like a radar detector shack. But again, retail traders eat that up, and so they join these communities of penny stocks. They're going to punish the hedgies and all this stuff. Really, they're just terrible companies. They're mostly going to fail. Do you have to pay your neighbor a fee to borrow the stock? It depends on what stock it is. If it's a stock that there's enough long term, no. So if it's Apple or Tesla or Amazon, no. Yeah, you don't have to pay a fee because you don't have to locate it. Because there's so many different long-term investors in those companies that you can short them pretty freely. I can short the SPY or short Tesla right now, and I'll get an immediate fill, you know? So look, I'll give you an example. Here's Tesla, right? I'm gonna short one share just so you see. Immediate fill, shorting Tesla, you know? All right, I'm gonna cover. All right, immediate fill. Now, if I try to do that with some sketchy, obscure penny stock, that's not going to happen because it's not easy to borrow. It is hard to borrow, and they got to locate some random long-term investor who's going to ask for money or ask for a big fee for loaning you those shares out, and that's just kind of what it is. Can you scroll up? I asked some questions. Do you use TD Ameritrade? Yeah. What's the downside of a cash account? You can't short. You can only go long. You have to wait for your money to settle after each trade. Jobless claims have some impact. I always see people right during the day. I just opened a short position. Here. Yeah, you can grab it. I mean, you can open a short position. I just opened a short position on Tesla just now. I covered it immediately, but it was just an example. Maybe I should have held because it's kind of breaking down. The whole market's starting to flush right now. But I just opened a short position on Tesla. You know, the reason so is because it's a blue chip healthy company. There's so many long-term investors in Tesla that like people are willing to loan shares out. Again, if it's like BBIG or Mullen or something obscure, there's not a lot of long-term traders, so they're not going to be able to do it, you know. Oh, and a penny stock, like you can open a short in a penny stock, you know, Lori. So it's not like you just can't short penny stocks, but if you do so, number one, you're not trading a cash account. You can't short in a cash account. Cash account is purely long trades only. Number two, especially if you're opening a big position, you have to pay to locate. And a lot of brokers are going to allow you to do it. Like I can search for stocks. I can locate specific stocks. Like Cobra is great for shorting. If you want to short penny stocks, Cobra is kind of where you want to go because they're like really good at locating shorts. But different brokers have different short locating capabilities, if that makes sense, right? But you can open a short position, but you got to pay for it. So like you can locate shares to short in some stocks that are hard to borrow, but you're going to have to pay a fee. You're also going to have to pay to hold that stock daily in that short position. Now, sometimes it's still worth it. It's like sometimes the reward is worth the risk, but that's what they're doing when they say they open a short position. You can't use TD Ameritrade, I'm pretty sure, Bilal, because the PDT rule is only for the US, and so they have different standards for that type of stuff, you know. Yeah, that's what ETB means, is easy to borrow. It means that like you can click short and get a fill just like I got on Tesla just now, you know. Yeah, no problem. All right, guys, we got jobless claims in about 13 minutes. All right, GameStop at 2040s, 2040s, Tesla at 223.50s. Is this a big event? I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's the biggest event this week outside of like GameStop earnings. So it's like some kind of big. But is it this huge event? No, not really, you know. Like jobless claims drops weekly, so it's a weekly release. It happens every Thursday. Jobless claims today, again, are expected to show up at jobless claims are expected to show up today at 235,000. So again, higher jobless claims means less people working. It's essentially like high unemployment. All right, so again, we'll put this up on screen. So jobless claims drops at 8:30 Eastern and are expected to show 235,000. Higher than expected means less people working. You know, subscribe to chat. The market's down a little bit ahead of this, so we're dropping a little bit now, but yes, James. But I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do in terms of rate hikes. So yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do there in terms of like rate hike capabilities and stuff. I will say, so the likelihood of a skip or a pause this rate cycle, which is going to be next Wednesday, the likelihood of a pause went down, right? It's still the majority. So like 64% think we're going to skip or pause this next rate hike decision on Wednesday of next week. 36% think we're going to raise rates, right? And that's that's a big change overnight, because remember, yesterday it was about 80-20. Today it's about 65-35. So, the probabilities of a rate hike went up. Still leaning more towards a skip, but there's a chance that they raise rates. It's not, a lot of the time you'll have a really big discrepancy here. So like a lot of the time it's like 90-10 or 85-15. This one is definitely not that. This one's a little bit more ambiguous in terms of like what the actual result is going to be. Again, they're about 65-35, which it's still heavily favoring a skip or a pause and no rate hike. But again, I disagree. I kind of think we should raise rates. I think the market's showing resiliency. I think that the market inflation is still the big problem here in the economy. A recession's not a big worry. Banks showed resiliency. Market has been moving up, looking green. And of course, I think they want this to continue. I don't think they want to drop. But yeah. All right, guys, we got 10 minutes. Yeah, it happens, King. That's kind of part of the market. You can market order if you really want to get filled. Yeah, I think a rate hike's probably going to be good, and we could raise rates, but I think a lot of it depends on, the only problem is like here. Okay, here's one of the problems. Look at GameStop. GameStop's starting to pop up. It's at 2050s. Here's one of the problems, though, right? Is that so the big worries is like if we're fearing a recession, we don't want to raise rates, right? If we're fearing a recession, we don't want to raise rates. If we're fearing inflation, we do, right? And I think inflation has gotten better, but I don't know if it's at the point now where we're in a good enough position to where, we shouldn't raise rates. I think if the market's showing resiliency and, we're doing better, I think, raising rates makes sense. I think if the market's going to be okay with it, raising rates and curbing inflation and getting prices down makes a lot more sense. But, it depends. The market's also playing comeback. And I think that's why we have a little bit more ambiguous of a prediction for a rate hike potential. Next one. Thoughts on the commercial real estate crisis? I mean, I think commercial real estate's heavily struggling. The reason it's struggling, there's a lot of reasons, but the main one is people don't need to use commercial leases anymore. People don't need to rent out commercial commercial buildings as much. They still do, of course. You're still going to have employers that want people in office, but remote work is taking over, and I think a lot of them realize that they don't have to pay super high rent. They can instead have everybody work remotely from home, get the same amount of production and efficiency done, but much less, overhead. And I think that's changing. I think after 2020, that, fundamentally affected everything else, and that kind of changed the whole employment landscape. And that's bad for real estate, as well as like interest rates certainly aren't helping. Interest rates doubled. It's at almost 7% right now. So that's not good for anybody in terms of buying or selling houses or homes or buildings. Again, it's definitely not good for like mortgage brokers. Are kind of taking the biggest hit there. Residential real estate's still okay, but yeah, it's a weird market for sure. Tesla at 223s. Yeah, I don't know what the markets are going to do. Carvana. Oh, wow. Yeah, Carvana ripping up. Did they do a split or anything, or are they just this healthy? Yeah, good for them. I mean, still a bad year for them, but hey, I thought Carvana would probably be okay. What do you think the market will do after jobless claims? I'm not sure. It depends on what the numbers show up as. The market's really flat ahead of this, so the market's really quiet. Kind of waiting for this number to drop. All right, guys. So, hey, vote in the poll. Let us know what you guys think. We got over 600 people here now. What are we doing in terms of votes? Again, if you want to vote on our Twitter poll, give me a follow on Twitter if you haven't already, guys. It's @beginnertrades. Here's the link if you want to check it out. Yeah, I mean, so residential is still doing all right, Chris. Is it what it was a year ago? No. Is it what it was 2 years ago? No. But it's still doing all right. Like, they're still making sales. The problem here is that people are spoiled in terms of mortgage prices. You know, like, people are used to paying 3.5% for mortgages. Now they're paying freaking 7. So that's kind of like a shock to them, and that's making sales go down. It's still not like residential is crashing. Commercial's taken the biggest hit. Commercial has basically been on a nosedive for the last few years. If you look at like a commercial real estate graph, it's rough. Yeah, I'm seeing if I can find a trend. But yeah, market's starting to bounce back a little bit again. Jobless claims expected at 235,000, 235K. But yeah, commercial's been on a bad run. If you look at the 2022 graph, it's looking rough. Yeah, so here's commercial. Here's a 1-year chart from last year in commercial real estate. That's where it's really getting affected the most here. Look at the commercial trends from last year. So this was commercial real estate in 2022. It struggled. You know, it's down to pretty low levels from there. And this is from the International Monetary Fund. All right, I'm gonna put the dollar index up as well here. So we got the SPY. Dollar index is dropping. That should make the market rise. Data comes out pretty soon. Let me get it ready. Okay, we got 3 minutes, guys. 3 minutes. I got my sources up. We are ready. Jobless claims expected at 235,000. Continuing claims expected at 1.8 million. 235K is what's expected. Are we in sub-only mode? Did I put it in sub-only mode? Yeah, let me make sure I did. I don't know if I did or not. Let me make sure. I did not. So, hey, y'all hit that subscribe button, guys. Again, we cover free market data. We cover all these big events. We generally get a decent amount of people for these events because we cover the data quickly. So if you want a fast place to get this data, watch the market reaction. This is it. All right, here we go, guys. A minute and a half. Yeah, I'm on vacation right now and my family's sleeping in the background. I also have a new mic. But yeah, I just don't want to wake my family up, so I'm a little bit more quiet here. So I'm not waking my family up. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna get today too. But yeah, I'm definitely not gonna be able to yell like I do at home. All right, SPY just broke over the previous closing price here, guys. Yeah, Miami. Yeah, man. Rangers are doing pretty good, Matthew. I mean, listen, I'm an Astros fan, but I'm rooting for the Rangers too. They got Jacob deGrom. You know, they're doing great. All right, guys, 40 seconds. We got about 800 people here. Maybe, hey, the report's about to come out, so. Do you ever take a day off? I do. All right, guys, here we go. Here's the SPY. We got about 20 seconds. All right, initial jobless claims 235K. It depends on what the market is fearing. If the market's fearing inflation, then you know it's going to want a higher jobless claims number. If it's fearing a recession, it's going to want a lower number. All right, here's the number, guys, right now. All right, nothing out yet for jobless claims. Still kind of waiting. All right, there's jobless claims. Jobless claims came in much higher than expected at 261,000, much higher than expected at 261K versus 235,000 expected. So 160 or 261,000, so way higher than expected here for jobless claims. 261K versus 235K expected. And it looks like the market so far is up, which means that the market's fearing inflation more than a recession here. So 426.60, less people working is what this signifies. The dollar index is dropping, which is a sign that the market might move up on this report. But yeah, 261 versus 235 expected here for jobless claims. And again, this shows the market is now more so fearing a recession, or no, more so, I'm sorry, fearing inflation over a recession. So 261 versus 235,000 expected. We will put this up on screen, but yeah, that's what's going on too. Everything else is moving up too. So yeah, we'll put this up. 261K versus 235K expected. All right, so 261 versus 235 expected. Sorry, I'm deleting some of these old. Here we go. Again, 261 versus 235 expected. Market's loving this, guys. Look at the market rip. This means less people working. I wonder if this means that. So this means less economic growth, which I think in an inflation-fearing market is going to be good. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to get here, but markets are loving this. What dip? I bought Pepsi this morning. Let's see how that's acting. But the market likes this today. Everything else kind of heading up. Market like this, the dollar index. So generally there's an inverse correlation between the Dixie and the market itself. So again, Tesla's up to 224, still red on the day. Market's pulling back a little bit here, dipping down some. Market's still going. SEC declaring jobless claims of security. And again, guys, if you want to check out Top Step, again, if you want to trade these economic releases with me, you can kind of see, I told you guys that the market might react this way, and you can trade economic releases. You can day trade the SPY, which is what you see on the middle right here, which is what moves with these releases. You can day trade that in the futures market. It's called the E-mini. You can see it does exactly the same thing as the SPY, except again, if you listen to our PDT rule conversation earlier, there's no PDT in futures. So you can day trade short. You can kind of see it is the exact same thing. You can day trade short futures with no PDT rule. And Top Step is the most legit futures funded program in the world. They give you a demo. They test your skill. It's a challenge, but it's a low barrier of entry. So it only costs 130 something if you use my link. They're going to give you a demo account. If you can hit the profit target in the demo while following their rules and pass their testing, they fund you the same amount, which is 50 grand. So you get 50 grand in funding if you pass the base challenge. If you pass the top one, it's 150 grand in funding, and you get a 90% split. You also get to keep up to $10,000 of your first money. So you don't even have to split any of your income with them for the first 5 to 10K. And again, it's really a situation where if you're good enough to pass it, you get a lot of the benefits of trading your own money, but with less risk. If you fail, you're going to lose much less than you would if you put the money up yourself. Great way to learn day trading. It's a perfect middle ground of pressure, where you have some pressure, but not the full extent of putting up, 20K of your own money. But if you want to check it out, here is the link. Remember, next week we got CPI, we got PPI, we got retail sales, we have the Fed rate hike decision, we got jobless claims, we got Michigan consumer sentiment expectational data here. It's just a big release week next week. I mean, I don't think most people pass it type. I think most day traders lose, and again, they are a sponsor of mine, and so I'm certainly biased in their favor because they pay me money. And again, I think most day traders lose money. So I think regardless of whether they're on a funded account program like Top Step or they put the money up themselves, chances are you're going to lose money in day trading. 90% of day traders lose. But what I will say is that it's a lot cheaper to lose a Top Step account than it is to put up 10K yourself and risk that most of the time. How do you think about Bitcoin now? What's Bitcoin doing here? Dollar index is breaking down. Here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin up to 26.5K. So Bitcoin's still trying. It's better than that 25K level was at earlier. Yeah. We get E-mini up there to 4,200. SPY up there to 427s. Bitcoin's moving up. It's doing better than it was over the last few days with the Coinbase SEC news. Man, what a view out here. I'm all right. What a view. Man, look at the SPY rip here. SPY up to 427s. Let's keep running here, guys. The market's loving this, man. Good for it. Again, guys, tell me what you guys think about this. All right. Tell me what you guys think about this. So the crypto partner for my crypto channel, his name's Cam, right? He's saying that the Vision Pro Apple glasses, he thinks they're going to appreciate heavily. He said if you have an unopened iPhone 1, it's worth about 50K right now. So it had basically 100x price over the last 15 to 20 years. Cam said there's a similar opportunity there with the Apple glasses. But the catch is you can't open them. What are your thoughts on that? Again, I think it's an interesting perspective. My hardest part would be not opening them. Yeah. Y'all stay safe today. Yeah, Carvana. What's Carvana doing? A lot of people brought Carvana up, man. Yeah, Carvana's all the way up to 20 bucks from 15. So Carvana is up 33% right now, basically. Buy two. Yeah. Maybe. E-mini popping up. SPY loving this data report here. Cool. Good for my swings too. Yep, the 427.20s here. E-mini at 42, 4,300. All right, guys. Carvana at 1930s. Almost Friday, guys. man. All right, so market's still consolidating up there. All right, guys. So again, we are pulling back on the SPY here. The question is this a good dip buy? I don't know. All right, so again, we are down to 427s. E-mini, sorry, man. I'm watching a tough video on Twitter, dude. Ugh, man, hard video to watch. But yeah, Carvana's still consolidating up there at those levels. Keep in mind the headset is the pro version, meaning in typical Apple tradition, they'll probably release a cheaper version. Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. So when unemployment goes up, consumption goes down because people have less money. Kind of. Highest unemployment level since October 21 should be nice news for a great day. Unemployment didn't drop today. This was just jobless claims. This drops weekly. So how about this new mic, guys? Is this new mic showing? Is it good enough as my old mic, or what do you guys think? It's probably not quite as good, but the good thing is that I can keep it close to my ears and I can just wear it. So let me know if this one sounds good. I'm also thinking about buying a dip here in futures. It's not a new setup. I'm on vacation right now. So good. Very clear. Nice. Honestly, I might wear this thing from now on. It's just easier. Yeah, it's like right next to my mouth at all times, so I don't have to worry about like turning my head the other way and not hearing y'all not hear me. I can also walk away. One of the reasons I like this is because if I have to go do something in the other room, I can walk away and still talk and chat, you know. Hey, nice, Justin. Good, man. No, I brought one monitor. I usually bring one monitor. I need at least two to manage everything. So I need at least, unless that or I get like an iPad out, but I need at least two. So I can, if I bring my laptop and one other extra monitor, then I'm good. I can let that work. All right, so we did just get a NASDAQ buy order by Chart Prime. What is this? Is this a 1 minute chart or? Yeah, it must be a 1 minute chart. I don't know. This is both the NASDAQ. Okay, one's the S&P. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So we're getting logged in here to everything. I do like this dip buy. I might be buying some stuff up too. I just got to get filled in time. All right, there we go. We are in. Oh, nice little pop. All right, so we just made a little bit on the NQ right now. And again, one of the reasons I like Chart Prime, guys, and Chart Prime's a sponsor of mine as well. But like, look at this. Like, they can just be powerful here, dude. Like, I'm gonna put this up for a split second. Here's Chart Prime. And like, if you really look at the results of this, it's actually really impressive. So like, look at this sell signal here. This is called the Market Oracle Pro by Chart Prime. Like, look at this buy, nice little run, sell signal here. This one was wrong. This one worked. This last one worked. Look at the sell signal here, huge drops. Sell signal here, huge drops. Strong buy signal here, huge bounce. So like, out of all of these, only one of these didn't work on the bottom. This one worked. If you guys look at it, look at that. Look at that. This one works. Sell signal here, drops. Buy signal here, nice bounce. Sell signal here, drops. Buy signal here, bounce. Just made money on that last one too. And so you can use this in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. And really, this is just like a small piece of what they offer too. So like, this is really just a little piece of it. Like, check this out. So this is just like a small piece. So like, I can put up the Market Dynamics Pro. I put smart money concepts up. And like, look at all these. So like, look, it'll tell me where things are premium priced in smart money concepts, where the equilibrium is, where the discounts are. It'll show me support and resistance. Like, it'll show you, hey, this is a support or resistance level. You can zoom out and look at even more stuff here. I like using longer term charts too. Look, it'll show you like triangle patterns and trend lines here. It'll show you support or resistance levels that you can watch and base your trades around. Look at the strong sell signal here. And then look at the huge drop afterwards here. Strong sell signal here too. Look at the huge bounce. So it can be powerful, man. And it's 35 bucks a month. And so this is very cheap relative to what it gives you. Very cheap, 35 bucks a month, and just useful in my opinion. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. They're a sponsor of mine, so I'm naturally biased in their favor. But again, they can be incredibly useful, to be honest. And that buy would have worked if I would have held on to it a little bit longer too. I think I should have, but all good. There goes the E-mini pop. See if the NASDAQ follows it up here. We're getting some good momentum. All right, so we are scalping another trade on the NASDAQ here. You can kind of see we are up 85 bucks, 90 bucks. I'll go ahead and take that profit here. Again, Chart Prime is impressive, dude. It really is. I know they're a sponsor of mine, and so I certainly am biased, like without question biased in their favor, but like genuinely impressive, man. You know, I think I told the story before, but like I always didn't, we're up 130 today, 130. I was always kind of skeptical of some of these algorithm softwares, but then they said, hey, look, just take a meeting with me and show me, and we'll show you what we do. And it's impressive, you know. Yeah, I don't know anything about TVs. If you have the ability to customize the EQ of the mic, I suggest lowering the bass. Yeah, I mean, I could try. I'm on vacation now, so I mean, this is probably just the best we're gonna get right now, brother. You know, but like, I'll work on it. I might wear this at home too because it's just easier to manage. But maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, so market's dipping down a little bit. My question is, should I buy this little pullback here? I don't know. Yeah, I'm on vacation. Chart Prime, link is in the description. Did I not post the link? Oh, you can get 40% off right here. My bad, guys. Here's the link right here if you want to check out Chart Prime. Again, you get 40% off if you use this link. You get it at checkout, you'll get like 35 bucks is what this will cost. Here's the link, check it out. Yeah, well, the jobless claims numbers, Rich. Hey, long time no see, bro. Hope you're doing good. But yeah, the jobless claims numbers are helping the market right now. I think like the market doesn't want to see too much economic growth because of the chance of a pause. And so, you know, the market's still fearing inflation, and so I think this might actually increase, like the reaction we have today, I think might increase the chances of a rate hike. I think. I might be wrong, but I think like the market responding like this to higher jobless claims numbers, like noticeably higher claims numbers than expected, I think this shows the market still fears inflation. But ironically, the market is actually, the probabilities have actually gone up for a skip or a pause now. Maybe I guess from the bullish action in the market, but again, you got to understand what this really means here. I think where like if jobless claims being higher than expected, so if less people working made the market go up drastically, what does that mean? Right? That means the market's still very much fearing inflation, you know, and so they want less people working because that means less economic growth, and lower pricing eventually is what's going to result from that. But again, I think in that situation, if the market's still severely fearing inflation like this, I think we should raise rates again. But you know, again, maybe a skip will do it. They know more than me, of course, but yeah, I think like for instance, if jobless claims came in higher than expected and the market hated it and it dropped, that means the market's fearing a recession. That's a bigger, you know, that's bigger reasoning to do a pulse than like if the market had reacted like this. But you know, it's nuanced for sure. There's a lot of nuance behind it. So yeah, it's usually phishing, TK. A lot of the time they'll do it with PayPal. So a lot of the time they'll pretend to be PayPal and they'll be like, hey, somebody's hacking into your account, log in. Understand, PayPal will never ask you to log in on the email most of the time. They'll just tell you, look at your account. And so usually what it is it's phishing emails. So they'll pretend to be PayPal. The way you always check is you look at the email address that sent it to you, not what they name the email, but you have to click on the actual email and you look at exactly what the email is. They might say PayPal support, but if you look deeper, it's going to be some random email address, most likely phishing for your information. They're hoping that you're dumb enough to click it and put your password in, so that they can steal your password and log in and send themselves money. That's what they hope. No, it's a positive reaction. It's not the biggest positive reaction, but it did make the market move up. Yeah, it's always some weird. It's usually kind of like an auto email address that populated. You know what I mean? Why was it positive? Well, because the market fears inflation, and so more people working means more people spending money and prices going up, and that's not what the market wants. The market wants the opposite of that. All right, so market's consolidating, but it did bounce back some. The Dow didn't like it, did it really? Let's look at the Dow here. You must mean Dow futures. What are futures? Dow futures. It's YM, right? Yeah. Dow reacted a little bit more choppy. Yeah, Dow's actually negative from it. Interesting. Dow's kind of been trending against the market though, but yeah, you're right. GameStop's still at 20 bucks here. Let's see if it holds. E-mini still trying to run. Yeah. It's gonna be a bullish day. No, we'll see. Maybe. All right, guys. So yeah, this is a pretty slow week, but remember, be prepared for next week. And again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We do this live for free every weekday. We don't sell a course. We don't sell a service. We don't claim to be experts. We don't act like gurus. I don't even claim to be a good trader. But we give people everything for free. And so hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, guys. We appreciate it. Trap is always there. 73% bearish. Seasonality favors the bears over the next 2 days. Yeah, I feel you. Maybe. Watching the E-mini, watching the SPY. Keeping an eye on like Tesla too. Apple. Is a question, guys. Does Apple have their event still going on today, or is it basically over? I know they had their WWDC event, their Worldwide Developer Conference event. Is it still going on? I thought it went on to the 9th. And so if that's true, are they doing an event today that might influence Apple price? Let me know. I'm not sure. Yeah, definitely top 3 bad traders ever, for sure. Definitely top 3. Ends on the 9th, I believe. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Tesla's still trying to hold over VWAP here. E-mini over the 200 EMA. I like this dip level, but who knows if it's going to actually hold. But we're going to pivot to futures trading too. There we go. All right, guys. So yeah, we have about 30 minutes until the open. NASDAQ with a big tear. So the NASDAQ really liked jobless claims, it looks like. Big positive reaction. You see when jobless claims dropped right here, the NASDAQ blew up. So the NASDAQ really liked it. Yeah, definitely top 3 working while on vacation stock market YouTubers with brown hair, curly hair in the world right now for sure. Definitely top 3. Did NVIDIA have an event? Here's NVIDIA right here at the bottom. NVIDIA's doing all right. Big red day for yesterday, though. Hey, thank you, Bob. Tesla's still holding here. Again, part of me wanted to hold that dip a little bit longer, but it's all good. I'll wait. We got a nice little cushion on the day now. AMZ, what's AMZ, BG? Apple still break even today. I need the micro NASDAQ here. I'm gonna buy this little dip. Ugh, dude, I wanted the dip. I just didn't quite get it in time, man. I wanted more than size than this, but it's all good, I guess. I kind of missed out on this. It's all good. I'm gonna start trading the NASDAQ a lot more though, because it gives me if I trade micro NASDAQ contracts, there's a lot more range to take advantage of, but it's less risk than buying like the E-mini regular or the regular NASDAQ 100. So I mean, oh, Amazon, got you. Yeah, Amazon. The problem with Amazon is the PE ratio. Amazon's PE is very high. As of yesterday, it was 288. It's really high as a PE ratio. Tesla right now is 66, eBay's 37. It's just a really high PE ratio. Look at the NASDAQ start to test highs. That's the only argument. Like, I think Amazon's obviously going to be fine as a company long term. Like, they're always going to be good in that way. Like, you don't have to worry about them failing, I don't think. But like, pullbacks could be argued because of the PE ratio being so high. But again, I don't think it matters as much in this current market. You got stuff like Nvidia with or AMD with just crazy high PE ratios. So I don't know if it matters that much, but it's still something to consider, I think. And we got another little dip here. I'm gonna take one contract, maybe add to it too. On these pullbacks, I've got enough cushion and range here to where I can deal with some red. But that's a bigger drop than I expected, I can't lie. Luckily, we're up about 140 on the day here, so I'll give it time to retrace back up. But I don't like this price action. I'll get one more there. All right. Oof, what the heck happened here? Yeah, I gotta learn how to trade the NASDAQ. We're still up $100 on the day, but I gave back some for sure there. It happens though. That's a big pullback. Very large short-term pullback here. Very large pullback coming. Very big dip. I don't know what for, but very large dip. See if we're down enough to where we start retracing back up there, but big pullback. Market's turning here. I don't know why. I see the SPY dipping. SPY under the 200 EMA. Starting to bounce up a little bit though. Amazon now pulling back here. That might be the root cause of it. Big pop back up. I'm in the regular NASDAQ 100. All right, so we just go ahead and cut it. I made about 60 bucks there. So now we are up about 160 on the day or so, a little bit less. It looks like $154. So I bought this dip. I wanted to catch it when it broke down here, but I thought the SPY might bounce a little bit right here, but the NASDAQ's bouncing all the way back up. %90 of the time it works 100% of the time, Shane. Yeah, but that usually has to do with the time intervals. Chris, there's a lot of influence over like pre-market data. So like if pre-market data is included, the VWAP's going to be different than if it's not, you know. So it also depends on what time frame. One thing I like about Quant Tower here is that I can specify I want a 24-hour VWAP. Like I want an intraday 24-hour VWAP. I don't want a 1 hour. I want a 24-hour VWAP, and that's usually the one that most day traders are watching. Is that short term? But man, look at this huge run back up here on the NQ. So we're watching this, but man, what a big move. 90% of the time the market goes against me every time. Tony or Shane. Yeah, DOS Pro's always been different, you know. Man, look at the NASDAQ pop. If we get a little small pullback, I'll take another trade based off of this because I see some stuff bouncing, like the SPY bouncing, Amazon bouncing. All right, so we got that little dip. I'm gonna go ahead and buy this. Just one contract though. That last 2 contract position went against me pretty fast, so I don't know if I want that. But I see Amazon starting to crack highs, so I'm starting to learn how one contract of the micro NASDAQ moves, and it moves big range. Do I want to add another one if it pulls back some more is the question. It might. All right, so we're gonna take one there. So we got 2. Got to be willing to sell fast though if we need it. If we need to. Not gonna add any more to this. We're gonna cut it. Still up 140. Kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back situation, and that's kind of how it goes sometimes. If I see a down wick, I'll try this again. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna try it again. I see a down wick there. All right, so now we're flat, slightly green. The down wick reversals are powerful, so I can kind of. We just took half off there, made our money back, and now we can let the rest work. Yeah, the down wick reversals can be strong. That's why I said some of my best trades are trades where I get stopped out or faked out, and I immediately say, "Hey, I want to get back in this." Looks like taking that profit there was the right move. But man, what a reversal. Luckily we cut that a little bit earlier, but man, what a quick breakdown here. And it's all the way back up too. Weird. I'm gonna add right back to this size. All right, we're back in 2 contracts here. The only thing I don't want is like a big slam down, obviously. Like, I don't mind losing here, and we have a pretty big cushion on the day, but I'm kind of learning how the NASDAQ moves. I like how it moves. Let's see if it makes another leg up here. There we go. There's the second leg. Kind of flat right now. Yeah, the NQ definitely has a bigger range than, like, say, the E-mini or something like that. Amazon's was dragging this up. Amazon's breaking highs again. It's at 123.50s. The market liked the report, Antonio. So the market liked the report, but it did mean less people working. So it basically meant higher unemployment. So like the market liked it, but it did mean higher unemployment. Wow, what a tear back up. So jobless claims did come in high. But the market liked it. I don't like this rejection here. I'm gonna cut that. I don't like that rejection at all. Yeah, it looks like we got out in time. Yeah, it looks like that cut was the right move. So getting a big breakdown. Looks like we cut that just in time. Why don't you hire some dude to stream after you? There's no one good in the space until about 1 p.m. The reason there's nobody good in the space is because the market is slow up until 1 p.m. There's nothing. It's lunchtime, bro. Nobody's streaming. Nobody's trading. Again, I'm not saying some people don't get views, but like my channel is kind of the early stream. And so one of the reasons my channel took off is because we start the stream really early. And now some of the viewers might leave and go watch somebody else later on at the open. And so you'll see my views kind of dip down. But like at 8:30, generally we have our highest amount of views. Like today we had like 800 or 900 people here. But the reason we get those type of views is because we start the stream early. And so when everybody else is sleeping, we're up streaming. I could keep streaming, but to be honest, man, guests just bring more trouble than it's really worth here. You know, like I'm working on a software for the channel right now, and so like I can build that, but I don't need anybody else to work for me. You know, I think one of the problems that a lot of YouTubers make is a scarcity problem. You know, like if you ever wonder, like we get a lot of views for like CPI reports, Fed rate hike decisions. But if we're posting 20 streams a day, less people are going to watch those, you know? And so like my normal streams like this might get less views, but whenever we cover big events, we get more views than almost anybody. Like we're definitely in like the top 5 Definitely top 3 like big event streamers. Like CPI, Fed rate hike decisions, and the reason it's like that is because we don't oversaturate our product on YouTube. Like we don't post 20 streams a day, because again, like think about the psychology of it. If you post it over and over and over again, eventually people are going to get tired of getting your notifications. They're going to watch your stuff less, right? So it's about strategic scarcity, I could stream all day, but to be honest, guests have brought me nothing but drama and BS. Like I think what happens a lot of the time with guests, and then again, Tony's cool. I like Tony. Like it's not Tony. These are other guests that have come on the stream, but they either want to compete with me directly afterwards, so like they start their own channel and want to stream at the same time as me competing directly with me, and they think I'm just going to promote them as competitors of me, and I just don't. The other thing is like sometimes I'll invite people on the stream and I'll just be like, hey, you want to come on the show and just kind of hang out, and they'll come on the show, and I think a lot of people who have never streamed before, it's intimidating for them to come on stream. Like you get people there, you get hundreds of people, sometimes thousands of people, and it's an intimidating thing to stream, right? And so then when I invite them on the show and they come on the show and they actually do it, then they realize it's easier than they think, and they're like, oh wow, and then they become kind of like semi-addicted to it, to where like I said, I've had some guys that tried to pull some plays that did all this weird stuff to try to get me to let them be a co-host on my stream, and I honestly, I see right through it, to be honest. And like ultimately I've learned over time, it's just easier not to have a bunch of other people running my channel. Like I can do it, like I can run this whole community by myself, still compete with the big boys in terms of networks. Some of the networks are going to get way more views than we do, but that's because they got 20 people working for them. But I can compete with them and just run it myself, and that's what we do. But if there's a big event, we cover it. But like boring market days at noon and 11, there's just not much going on, man. I mean, we'd get some people to watch it, but like it would hurt our product 100%. Yeah, most of the time I bring guests on, and some people might like the guests, but a lot of people just hate the guests for whatever reason. They just want to hear me, and that's all right. Like I'm okay with that, So I probably won't have any guests on the show anytime soon. Too much weirdness that comes with it. Like I appreciate all the guests that we've had, but like it's just too weird. Some of them have been really chill and easy, Others not so much. You know what I mean? Like I've had people who try to be my best bud. They're just all of a sudden my best friend, and they're just hoping that I'll give them equity or something. I don't know what they're hoping, but I'm not going to. And over time, I realize it's best not to get their hopes up, not to set that expectation, because some people might misinterpret my intentions. Yeah, solo dolo, as Kid Cudi says. I started letting my daughter listen to Kid Cudi. She likes it. Like Man on the Moon, one of my favorite songs ever. Go listen to Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon. It's a good song. It's an old song, but like Kid Cudi's good. He's gotten a little crazy lately. I haven't listened to any of his like new music, but his old stuff was good. Hey, thank you, 75. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you. No, Pawn, super useful. Pawn is my big mod. He's like the mod that helps me the most, and him and I are starting some other business on the side, but Pawn knows, like, nothing against him or anybody, but like I'm not giving equity. The only way I would give equity is like if I created some other product that went with my channel that I needed people to help me run it with. But Pawn does a great job. And like for other people, I might start side projects with them, like Pawn. Like Pawn and I are working on some stuff. And he helps me run the channel for sure. But like, as for like, Pawn doesn't want to ever come on the stream. So Pawn doesn't want to come on stream. And that's what I appreciate about Pawn, because it's just easier, It is, Alan. Yeah. And to be honest, y'all would be surprised. Like streaming is kind of like my happy time. Like it's like what I do. I'm probably more comfortable streaming than I am with a lot of people in person. Like I'm probably a little socially awkward in person, but I like streaming. And so bringing guests on kind of hurts my peace a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah, Pawn's great, you know. Yeah, Carvana going crazy. Yeah, Pawn could always come on stream. If Pawn wants to come on stream, he could hop on anytime he wants. You know, he could plug whatever he wants. He could promote whatever he wants within reason, you know. And like, I'd be cool with that. All right, guys. IB. Jobless claims came in higher than expected, which means that less people are working than previously expected. Now, that whether that is good or bad is subjective. Whether that is good or bad is subjective. You know, but yeah. But higher jobless claims means less economic growth. I think probably. Yeah, so, but basically the logic of this is like, okay, with less people working, that means less people are spending. When less people spend, businesses lower prices. And so in that regard, like less people spending, in turn, less people working is good for a lot of people in terms of markets. But again, it varies. It really does vary. Like some people are going to consider it good. Some people are going to consider it bad. Some people are going to like it, dislike it. And that really does vary a bunch depending on what's going on, you know. All right, so market is basically just flat here. Yeah, market is basically flat. All right, guys, we got 6 minutes until the market opens. 6 minutes. All right, guys. Yeah. We'll see what happens with the market today, guys. Again, market's pulling back. NASDAQ sideways. SPY is pretty sideways, right? Pretty flat down the middle here. VIX is lower. Yeah, for sure. SPY at 426 is consolidating here. NASDAQ trying, Tesla sideways, Amazon sideways. Yeah. Some of them, I mean, the support levels repaint, but the reversal ones don't. Yeah, for sure, Chris. Most traders here are super supportive. Yeah, guests come with drama, man. You know, I watch the show Yellowstone. Sometimes I feel like Yellowstone on a much smaller scale, of course. I wish I owned what Yellowstone owned. But like, I guess like over the years, you realize that sometimes envy and jealousy can be like a powerful thing, like a strong thing. And that motivates people to do really dumb stuff sometimes. You know, and it is what it is. Like, I feel for people that do that. You know what I mean? I really do. But sometimes that can make them make that. Sometimes people can just be dumb and just make dumb decisions. In the end, you learn like it's not good to hold on to that stuff. You got to just kind of let it go, and you got to understand that. You know, it's unhealthy to hold on to bitterness or resentment. You know, and so I feel for them. But yeah. Yeah, Americans do love some drama. Eurozone officially entered a recession. Where do you see that? Let me look at that. All right, so here's a big drop in the market here. Yeah, I do see a big market catalyst. Okay, I think you might be right. Yeah, Europe might have just entered a recession. If you look at like European GDP data dropped at 5 a.m. this morning. Their GDP quarter over quarter came in at minus 0.1%. Minus 0.1%. So they did have losing GDP, and last time they posted minus 0.1%. And so in that regard, they would be technically entering what would be considered a recession for Eurozone. Luckily, our GDP doesn't look like this. So like our GDP is still okay relative to theirs. But yeah, that could be true. You know, let me see if I can confirm it. But yeah, it's possible. It varies. Yeah, for sure, Tanya. I heard something that said like gratefulness and appreciation and like being grateful for things. Like you'll live longer if you try to stay grateful for things. You know, like if you hold on to resentments, it stresses your body out. Where it's like if you just try to remain appreciative and grateful for things, then good things will come back to you. I don't know. Philosophy with John coming up. Top 3 philosophy channels in the world. Well, you made me get up to do it. Listen, you're welcome. All right, we're gonna watch GameStop. I don't know how much I'm gonna mess with it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I believe it, James, for sure. All right, there's the opening bell, guys. There's the opening bell. So far, markets and equities are dropping here. Dip down at 1430s, 1430s for the NASDAQ. Market's dipping down. We're gonna let it consolidate, then take some trades. We're already up about 160 on the day right now. SPY pushing up, testing the 200 EMA. Tesla retracing, big downwicks, buying pressure coming in for Tesla. Hey, thank you, Alexis. I appreciate it. Shorting Meta. Hey, good luck, man. Be careful. Big green action for the NASDAQ at the open. I got to learn that this might not be the biggest move for the NASDAQ, but it looks big to me trading the regular E-mini. But a lot of green action coming through at the opening bell here today, team. So we got a little pullback here. Saw the momentum starting to play out, so I bought one contract of this. I'm gonna let it run up just in case we get larger run-ups. There we go. Man, I like one contract at the NASDAQ. Just made about 40 bucks. One contract at the NASDAQ might be about like my go-to cushion builder. You know, like you guys know me, when I first start to trade on the day, I try to build up a cushion first. And if I can, great. But yeah, that might be my go-to cushion builder. SPY over the 200 EMA, Amazon popping up, Tesla pushing up. What's GameStop doing? GameStop moving up too. GameStop at 2120s. Big volatility at the open, guys. Just be careful. Really big volatility at the open. Big retracement down here. Wow. Whew, I gotta get used to the NASDAQ. There's a lot of volatility, man, at the opening bell. It's going up big, down big, up big, down big. I'm just not used to it. Sheesh, dude. What movements here? Looks green. Yeah. It's acting green now too. Now pulling all the way back down. Scalping. Man, so consolidation happening here now, but the SPY looks strong. I just made another $75 here, up about 185, almost 200 on the day. SPY ripping up to 427s, looking good. PayPal's green today. Wow, dude, just crazy momentum here. I just made another 70 bucks scalping the NASDAQ. Whew, volatile day for me so far, but you can kind of see we're up about 230 on the day. Not the best profit factor either, but we're getting okay. We're doing all right. Stocks are pushing up, but man, look at that drop, dude. Wow. So NASDAQ all the way back down to the lows here. Just be careful on long trades. All right, so we just made a little bit more too on the NASDAQ. But man, what a volatile day. Building up profit here. You can kind of see we are up about 320. Got a nice little cushion. What a volatile open though, guys. I mean, this looks like a short, but I'm gonna take a smaller term trade here. Whew, back. I don't want to add more to this. I was thinking about adding it, not unless we get like a big retracement like that. All right, we got 2 contracts here. We lose on this trade, it's going to be hands off for a little bit because it's showing such choppy momentum. Yeah, we're gonna cut it. So we lost a little bit there. We're up about 270 on the day now, but man, what a weird chop. All right, we're just gonna wait now. I mean, the NASDAQ is flat on the day, big range, but flat nonetheless heading into it. Yeah, it's also new to me, so GameStop, guys, still over up to almost 22s. I'm gonna put the NASDAQ up here. Tesla started to test highs too. All right, so we're still testing these highs. Again, I'm just kind of hands are off right now. I just don't trust this. Too flat right now. Maybe we break highs, maybe we come right back down, but I just don't trust this. All right, sorry, doing business here a little bit. Hey, later, Sam. Have a good day, bro. Yeah, we're testing the top of the range. Tesla breaking highs is pretty strong. You know, that if there's something that might drag broad market ETFs like NASDAQ and SPY up, you know, that's it. But it depends on how much momentum Tesla has going into it. I'm also going to pull up Amazon here as well, see what Amazon's doing. Amazon looks pretty strong up here, but there's also a chance that the market turns flat. I'm going to take one contract way down here. Could add a little bit more to this one too. We get a big retracement back down. I'll cut this. I'm gonna take 2 contracts here, see if we get a pop back up. This is the middle range, so it really is kind of flat right now. It's the only problem with the markets currently. Okay, big retracement. Give it time. I'm learning the range of the NASDAQ too. There we go, green now. I'll take half off there. Let the rest of the trade work. See if we get that pop. Nothing yet. Almost back up. Go ahead and cut that. All right. Yeah, I mean, we're up about 280 on the day. I got a cushion. I'm just waiting for some big edge to show up that I think I have some better like chances here. Look at that big pop, man. Just missed it, but it's okay. I'm kind of scalping this anyway. Huge run up. And again, guys, if you want to check out Top Step funded account program for futures, so you see me day trading the market's momentum. This is the NASDAQ. I can also day trade essentially the SPY, and I'm looking at blue chips to do it. So like a lot of pro traders day trade futures over stocks because they're just better liquidity, better conditions. You can get a low barrier of entry if you don't have like 50K like I do in TOS. You can put up the money. You can try to get funded in a funded account program. You have a small risk, but a big reward. If you pass the testing, you get a 90% split. If you don't pass it, you lose less than you would if you put the money up yourself. And so you can essentially day trade the SPY, the S&P, the NASDAQ, currencies, gold, silver in the futures market on Top Step. And it's just a great way to build your skill. It genuinely builds your skill. So like if you're struggling, this is a cheaper way where you lose less money if you fail. But if you're good enough to pass it, you get a lot of the benefits with a 90% profit split, and you get to keep 5K of your first withdrawal, 5 to 10K. I think they changed it to 10K now. So check them out. Great community. There's funding coaches. It's just a great program. It builds your skill as a trader. Less risk if you're a good enough trader. You have less risk than you would if you put the money up yourself. So check it out here. Here's the link. Again, NASDAQ's flying up right now. Look at the NASDAQ pop. Put the SPY up here on the right. Amazon's breaking high, Tesla's breaking highs too. And again, here's my graph today on Top Step. Big retracement. It's trying. All right, so we are pulling back here on the micro NASDAQ. I need a larger pullback for me to buy it. I'm watching Tesla and Amazon pretty closely here. All right, there's a little bit larger pullback. I'm going to get in with one contract here. See if we kind of mini bull flag it up. And if not, we at least got some better movement here. Do I want to add another piece? Probably not. I'm going to regret it if it goes up, but I'm definitely not going to regret it if it goes down. All right. Now I might want to consider adding it. We got a nice down wick, upward movement, momentum here. I'm going to add another piece right here, 2 contracts. Bad time to add, it looks like. Oof. punished. Took the ad, shouldn't have. Market just dumped right there. This is a big breakdown. It looks like it's actually fundamentally driven. I mean, we're still up 250 on the day, 230, so we're still fine. But no bueno for me. Again, very large pullback here. I don't know what this is, but what I do see is the SPY break all the way out of the previous closing price. What I'm watching though right now is Apple, Tesla, Amazon. Whew, big drop in markets. See if the NASDAQ maintains trend here. Some green action. Some volatility in price here. The only problem is like the SPY looks weak right here, to be honest, but like everything else looks like a reasonable pullback level in like crypto forex futures. Market's turning. NASDAQ's getting weak. Yes, we're just kind of hanging out here. I'm watching the NASDAQ. I want to see if the NASDAQ breaks. The NASDAQ might trend against the SPY anyway. SPY's looking really weak, all the way down to 426. That's the only thing I'm looking at maybe weighing on the market is the SPY here. See, we get a flush breakdown here. We got an upwick, red action. SPY still falling here. Yeah, a lot of stuff's punished for ad. I was thinking about that ad position. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but yeah. Now market's pushing up. I'm watching the NASDAQ to see what it's gonna do, but consolidation's heavy right now. All right, so we're just kind of sitting back here, guys. Very nice here. Yeah, punished. Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, guys, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. I'm really pushing towards Top Step too, so I'm probably opening up a couple accounts, and so you might see me trading on any of these accounts, and I'm just going to be pushing. My goal is to get funded in the next. My goal is to get funded in the next couple of in the next 30 days is my goal, you know. So we'll see if we get it done, but like that's the goal, is to get funded in the next 30 days. You know. And again, the good thing is that you can open up like a bunch of different accounts, you know, and like just trade with them. And I think that's the key. again, remember, if you want to check out Top Step, great way to help support your boy here. Great way to help support this channel. And pretty cheap way to test your skill. People underestimate the skill building aspect of stuff like Top Step. You know what I mean? You know. This is the NASDAQ. I don't know why there's volatility today. It's weird. The Amazon stock, Tesla stock are moving against the SPY. So like it varies. But yeah, again, y'all check out Top Step. Top Step funded account program for futures. You can check out the link in the description. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Again, I'm on vacation. I'm gonna enjoy the time with my family here and just enjoy the trip that I'm on right now. You know. So y'all be safe. Y'all be good. Not yet. I'm still kind of watching this. Might take another trade. But yeah, guys, I'm out of here. Carol's on stream. Say hey to Carol, everybody.
Morning.
Hey, thanks, trader. Hey, what's up, DS? Yeah, have a good day. Have a good day, TGA. Yeah, I'm gonna go enjoy the trip with my family. So we're streaming a little bit less time. We're starting later, finishing earlier. Yeah, Carol's right here. Camera's right here. Hey, thank you, Ricky. Hey, thank you, Tiny. Yeah, have a good day, Kenny, Tiny, Chris, Ricky, TJ, Trader, DS. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Market's kind of choppy right now anyway, bro. You didn't miss much in the equities market, at least. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Good luck.
Bye, guys.